Welcome to the Foolish Tech Show. Nick, can you hear us now? No? Nick's having some audio issues this morning, so he may be dropping in and out. He still can't hear us. Um, Today, I believe we're going to go over some file system basics. So yeah, I think that'll be some good stuff. It kind of builds on the registry basics that we had last week, and let's see if we can go ahead and get into it. Let me set up my screen for all that. How's everyone else doing?
Doing wonderful.
I am good.
Good.
Good. All right.
And
Oh,
Nick, how are you doing? It's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna start up a system here, and we're gonna jump into file systems. And the first thing I'd like to start off with is file systems in Windows took kind of a major change from XP and back versus Vista and forward. So that's definitely something important to keep in mind. Also, file systems have a difference with 32-bit processors versus 64-bit processors. And we'll kind of dive into a little bit of what those differences are here, so everyone will be able to pick those up here. Alright, so here we have a Windows system. We're going to go ahead into the file system. So we got our C drive here, and we're going to go ahead into, this is an important note about the file system and good teching anyway, so organize, folder and search options, view, show hidden files, hide protected system files. You don't want to have either of those checked if you're trying to check on computer file system stuff, and both of those are normally done automatically with D72. So if you sign in with D72, it changes those value settings for you, and you can adjust them from the configuration as well. So just so you know about those. And to start off, we'll just kind of go through this list here and go over what all we have in this list. Basically, this first section here, these are like from the DOS days, and that's something you'll find a lot that Microsoft does, is leaves in legacy items to help be able to use, like promote backwards compatibility with older programs working with newer versions of Windows. And that's what these two are, is they are basically like, I believe from the DOS days, I know from Windows 9X days, where these are kind of like the startup files. So these are programs that ran automatically when you started DOS or Windows itself. This pagefile.sys is what's called virtual RAM, and you can look at that by going to Properties of Computer, Advanced System Protections, Performance, Visual Effects Processor, Scheduling Memory Usage, and Virtual Memory. Under Advanced, you have your virtual memory. This is where you can create a paging file. Everybody's dropping out on me.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't understand. But anyway,
I'm still here.
Awesome, yeah. Awesome. So basically, the paging file is kind of like your RAM, and it's basically RAM on hard drive. And ideally, what that's supposed to be set to is 1.5 times the amount of RAM you have. So I have 3.5 5 gigs of RAM assigned, I would ideally want to have 7 gigs of page file size or virtual RAM assigned. And essentially what this means is that if your computer runs out of RAM, Windows tries to use your hard drive for RAM. It also will do it automatically, putting stuff that doesn't need to be accessed as much into virtual memory. The reason it tries to stay away from using those is because obviously your hard drive is going to be much, much slower, especially if you have a 5200 or 5600 versus or 7200 RPM drive versus SSD or something like that. So a big thing that happens is maybe sometimes you want to delete this file or make it smaller. To do that, you have to come in here. I believe it was in Vista that they automatically started managing the page file, and usually you can just let that run. It sets everything, you don't have to worry about it anymore. But you can uncheck this and then set your own custom size. If you go this route, normally I'd recommend starting off with what it's in there as your initial size, and then if you wanted to go up to the recommended size, putting that in as your maximum. This does take up your hard drive space on the root of your drive, so if you have a smaller SSD drive, you may want to keep this in mind, possibly even minimize it further. But you can also just turn it off completely. And if you're looking to delete that file, you'd have to turn it off completely to be able to remove it. And sometimes you want to do that for maintenance, sometimes just to try to clear out weird Windows issues. You can delete that paging file. And to do any of these changes, you have to restart the system, and it'll pick back up itself there. But most all the time, just leaving it on defaults is going to be your best option there. I didn't make any changes, so we don't have to restart. Alright, so that's the files in the root of the drive. We'll start from the top here for the rest of them. So here we have $recycle.bin. And if anyone can guess what that one is, that's our recycle bin. So that's where files on your recycle bin are actually going to be stored.
Brantley,
Yes.
Buddy in the chat is having issues with CryptoPrevent, and I was wondering if you can assist him. He said that CryptoPrevent was erased from one of the computers, and now it's affected Internet Explorer.
If he reinstalls it, what happens?
I don't. He's in the chat. Hold on.
What level of protection do they have?
Not Internet Explorer. I'm sorry. Windows Explorer.
How so, buddy? And what level of protection did you have on CryptoPrevent beforehand?
They had the beta. Michael told them to use the beta protection.
Okay, and how did it get erased? Yeah, if you can kind of give like a full rundown on everything that's happened there.
He resubmitted the custom installer because Michael told them to use the beta, and he added something to the whitelist resubmitted the custom installer because he deployed it amongst 300 computers, so he wasn't going to go through and change it on each computer. He just resubmitted the custom installer. And now he's called back and said that and remove programs and uninstall.
Okay, if you went through add remove programs and uninstalled it, it's going to remove all the protections automatically. What were the cases surrounding why you wanted to remove it from there? Because when you uninstall it using the uninstaller add remove programs, it goes through and it removes any of the protections that have been applied. So the only thing I was thinking that might be possible of happening is if you just went in and deleted the folder and you had beta protection enabled. That could remove a file that your EXEs are depending on, but that would mean all of your EXEs would have an issue, not just Windows Explorer. So what issues are you having with Windows Explorer? Okay, yeah, and beta protection does have some of that issue because of the way it's applied. So what issues are you having with Windows Explorer there? And what Buddy had said is it wouldn't allow some programs to run, so they wanted to get those programs running, which if you either set the protection to none or if you add, remove, and uninstall it, it would remove all those protections and all the programs and everything should run fine again. But and you're saying you did this while waiting on the new installer, so before you didn't have program. I don't know of anything that would have affected Explorer like that. Like I said, if you removed it, it would have uninstalled all the protections there. If you want to go into the registry settings, you can delete the key software, foolish IT, and CryptoPrevent, and then also check under the policies safer section. I'll show you that here. But those would be the only locations that CryptoPrevent would add stuff to the registry, so it shouldn't be affecting Explorer itself. But essentially, if you want to double check and see if everything was removed, you can do that here. So the local machine, software, foolish IT, CryptoPrevent, you can just delete that key. Then system, right, not system, sorry.
So
Software,
policies. Just policies, Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then it's like Windows, and then
safer.
might be current version. It's safer. There it is. 0 are your blacklists, and then the 262144 folder are your whitelists. You can delete those entire keys And if you would, Brantley, just copy and paste that in the IRC form so you can just copy and paste it. You know, the reg key.
Okay. Nick, do you know anything that would affect Windows Explorer from
Not a thing. Oh, the beta protection, maybe. I mean, if it were...
But if you went through add, remove, uninstall, that would have removed that.
Yeah, that's gone. Yeah, that's gone.
And they don't make it easy to copy and paste these registry keys.
You right click. What are you doing? Right click. Just right click on it. Copy the key. Man.
So that's that one.
And then under that, it's just the 0 folder and then the 262.144 folder. The 0 folder is your blacklists again, and then the 262.144 are whitelist policies. But if they don't exist, I mean, the folders may likely exist, but there may not be any subfolders in there, like under paths, which is mostly what CryptoPrevent does.
Yeah. So he asked if there's a way to talk live versus typing, and do you have a video camera and a headset with a microphone?
And he doesn't need the video camera, though, you know.
Oh yeah, you don't need the video camera. Sorry. As long as you have a headset, we can do it. Because if you don't have a headset, there's way too much feedback and sound gets destroyed. So.
We could try that. Oh yeah, that wouldn't work for us. We already tried it.
It wouldn't let the mic.
Uber conference, yeah. We need to look at a Ring Central thing then.
I told
Proctor.
Yeah, well, I told Johnny and
the Ring Central
Michael to look into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I was talking with Chris yesterday about the Uber conference and was like, it doesn't work right now, so it'll probably work in a couple months. He was like, yeah, it'll probably work for a few weeks and then never work again.
Like, yeah, actually, that's probably more like how it would be.
Well, no, he was saying after that couple months, it'll work for a few weeks and then never work again.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's probably how it would be, I bet.
Alright, well, I private messaged Buddy, so maybe he's checking for a headset or something there.
Just also for Buddy.
So I guess let's pick back up with this until we hear more. Okay. Buddy, do you see my private message that I sent to you there? I'm going to paste the link in for you to join there. Alright, so buddy, you should have a private message up at the top of the Kiwi thing if you're signed into the Kiwi client. I'm testing to see exactly what that looks like right now to sure that's the way. Or I can't.
He's in here.
Oh, there he is.
Yep, I'm here.
Howdy.
Hey guys.
So, you wouldn't happen to have started from the system that you're having issues with, would you? Because
Oh no,
I
of
could
course
share
not.
the screen for it, but
No, we couldn't get it running this far. So, the big thing that we're having issues with is we have a whole bunch of custom programs we've made, and we didn't know how to whitelist those. But it looks like that beta program was killing, even if it was whitelisted or not. So what we were having issues with is some of those programs would not run. This guy's very difficult to deal with, so we went on and thought, well, we'll just remove CryptoPrevent and then get the computer back online while we're waiting on tech support. So I guess you guys had some problems with your phones this morning. So went back in and uninstalled CryptoPrevent. As soon as we did that, for some reason, Windows Explorer would not work. We couldn't launch anything like, we thought, well, we'll just do a repair on Windows, so it couldn't launch the CD, couldn't do anything. For some reason, other programs, some of them work, like Windows Explorer, or sorry, Internet Explorer, Chrome, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We'll just re-image it. It's just one of those things I was curious about if there was any quick fixes or if we were to expect this in the future, if we were to uninstall anything. That's kind of more of my concern.
yeah, basically the way the go ahead, Nick.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I mean, you have like, where do you get with the system that you uninstalled it? I mean, I want to figure out specifically what could possibly be related. I mean, like, if you could humor me, like when it starts up, what do you see?
It starts up
error
fine.
message or
no error messages. Starts up fine. We log in fine. When you know the little folder next to your start menu, click that, and it comes up asking for what program do you want to run it with. It's like it lost its file or its folder or program associations there.
oh,
And so then when you try to, but the weird thing is you can click Start and you can click Computer, and it pops up with Explorer there. But as soon as you try to click on a CD, the CD then pops up and asks what do you want to run it with.
Mhm.
And so we select it, Windows Explorer and try to set it as a default, and it doesn't keep it.
So you can get to Chrome on that system. Can you start up a session with TeamViewer? And,
yeah, we can do a TeamViewer on it. I mean, we'll let you guys see. I mean, I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. Like I said, we can re-image it, but if it's going to help you guys as well, then by all means, we can get TeamViewer.
Oh yeah.
Because
Go
we're
ahead
not,
and
we don't see why any of that would have been happening and being able to see.
Yeah, we haven't even heard of that, but at the same time, we never recommend anyone, and this should be more prevalent, I guess, in the configurator, but we never recommend anyone to use the beta protection when you're deploying
Well,
it.
I think actually Michael did in this one.
Yeah, I was told that we would go ahead and use it. That he told me, yeah, it's beta, but it's pretty good, and It would help
It's
It
provide a lot more
is,
protection.
and it works tight, but there are a few things it just doesn't work with, and when you're using custom software, it shouldn't be used.
it's a double-edged sword because some of the newer
Yeah.
variants you do have to have the beta protection right now for it, but it also it applies to all EXEs, so there's no way that it can whitelist or like it can't whitelist specific files because the way it's set up is it applies to everything that's an exe file or a com file,
Gotcha.
and it matches
We
everything against the
actually
hash.
we actually have a replacement and a solution for the problem, and a new type of protection for version 8 that we're still polishing.
Okay.
But the actual beta, as it is right now with custom software, especially, it's not a good idea. Custom software, or for some reason, Microsoft Click to Run installations for Office. I don't
Gotcha.
know what's up with those, but that's the only thing I could really even think of off the top of my head, unless it's something custom. But
Okay.
But
Well,
if
I
you
mean,
do get the team viewer up, if you can, in that same direct message, just send me the
Yep,
ID
we're
password.
working on it right now.
Yeah.
Can you get it on that computer at all, or is it not going to install? Okay, so we're going to remote you into one of the admin's computers with a TeamViewer, and he's looking at it through Dameware, but we can't install TeamViewer directly on that computer.
Okay.
So, can you send?
it's
Can you
remoting a
send me that
remote.
in Messenger, in my ShoreTel Messenger, the key and user ID, those two numbers, yeah.
in the future, is there going to be a way to control the whitelist globally? So if I have a new piece of software I want to whitelist, I can just push it and have it go.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
right now you can do it with the scripting. There's a whitelist feature that you can do with the command line.
Okay.
But past that, when we redo dsupport suite and integrate the CryptoPrevent stuff into that, it's going to be a management console, so you can not only do the whitelisting, you'll be able to add, remove systems from it and maintain all the protections from there.
Gotcha. At that point, would we have to buy the suite or just the CryptoPrevent again?
I don't think we've gotten to full determination on where we're going to go with that, so we have to get the program in process and set up there, and then we'll be able to check it out from there.
Gotcha.
So more information will come as we get to that point. All right, so I'm on, and it looks like we're seeing the computer from there. Nick, I'm going to share my screen here. Is that all right with y'all if we
Yeah, it's
share?
fine. Yeah. Are you listening to them?
All right, Nick, so where would you think I should check first?
I want to see the registry value where the beta protection would have altered. If you can get to registry. Okay. Through shoot. Gonna have to do something different.
Okay.
Run a program, darn it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let me, is there any way we can get a file to you or to run on it? I mean, I wouldn't know how to run.
I don't know that we can get anything to run on it right now.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Hmm.
There's possibly the fix exe patch might work on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that could work on it if we could either get a file to it or create a file on it. But run Notepad.
Notepad should work.
Oh, would Notepad work?
Yeah, I think it'll work. It's weird, like some shit works and some doesn't.
That is very, very, very strange.
Tell them I'm sorry, we had an issue.
Hey, first, Brantley, let's just try renaming like regedit to like regedit dot something else. Just copy it actually. So right in the batch, we'll make that like a. Oh yeah, you can just do that through the whatchamacallit. Why was I sitting here thinking that you couldn't launch Explorer and go there?
It's weird because you can't launch Explorer like if you just click on the folder, but it lets you do it. See, that's what it does.
Yeah. 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 So B, can you give it a different file extension?
Sorry, what?
Can you give it a different file extension?
Yeah.
Start with .com. See what happens. Probably, I'd expect the same thing, but. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, do it. Just go ahead. Oh yeah.
Same thing there. And PIF next.
No, don't even try anything else. Just try running it as administrator. I don't care which one.
Yeah, I tried that too.
What? Same thing.
Yeah.
What if you copy it out of the Windows folder?
And we also this is logged in as one of us versus him because I thought maybe it was just his profile, but no.
Oh, the PIF work?
No, I just tried to run UAC. It doesn't look like it's actually starting the program.
You're not going to be able to get the PIF off of that until without a DOS prompt, by the way, when you rename something to PIF. It's like LNK. It just once it's that way, you don't mess with it in Explorer.
Okay. Alright, so even run as admin. Nothing there. That works.
No, that didn't work. So Brantley, classes root. Well, yeah, go there first, I guess, and see what's what. It still says it's installed. And the beta protection's on. You know what happens? You know it's broken.
What?
The uninstaller didn't run with administrator privileges. It wasn't able to remove or modify what it needed to.
That might make sense. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. But if it was able to remove the files that were installed in program files, but not the registry entries, that's the problem.
Okay. So, yeah, all the paths are still there. And
any way to repair that, or?
Well, reinstalling it would probably do it, but if we can't get the EXEs to run, that's not going to help much.
Well, we can because you're already in regedit, and
I know how we can fix it with the portable.
Right, you just import a reg script. I mean, on the system to fix the issue because that'll run.
That's the backup, so that should work, right?
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's the backup right there.
Do command lines.
I even forgot those backups existed.
Yep.
It's good to know that they're not removed with the rest of the uninstall.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and do the com backup.
Yeah.
And close. Let's go ahead and close that. We're just going to close out of these. No, not maximize.
The resolution here would be to force
Hey,
the
look at that.
uninstallation.
Did I think that just worked?
Yep.
Mm.
So the system program settings are still there. So you would want to install it and either set it to none and apply, restart, then uninstall it if you're not running it with admin privileges. But if you want to run the uninstaller with admin privileges, you can come into Foolish IT.
The actual program. Okay, yeah.
There will be an uninstaller,
Yeah.
and you can run
What
that.
we need to do is figure out why that is, because that shouldn't be the that shouldn't be.
Yeah,
When the
that makes
installer
sense.
requires them, the uninstaller probably should too, and it's supposed to be configured that way. So I'm going to actually check into that here in a minute.
Awesome.
Awesome. So we were able to get that fixed. I'll go ahead and disconnect from you guys here.
Okay. Question about group policy with this. So I disabled the group policy link until we got the new installer built, and it's just got sent to me a few minutes ago. When I get ready to push that again, is there any problems with installing the software over the installer will auto upgrade?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, go ahead, B.
I was going to say it should, but normally we recommend removing it first. But since obviously if you remove it without the administrative privileges, it's going to cause the same issue you had there before.
So yeah, we better not recommend that. What's gonna happen when you install it over the top of itself is if it's is it at all configured for the email alerts?
Yes.
Okay, what's going to happen is the alert service is not going to terminate unless the uninstall routine is run or unless email alerts are disabled first.
But I can't do that on a mass scale. I can only do that on a one by one.
Is there a command line parameter, Bradley?
I can double check there. Hold on.
There might be an easier way with this. Is there a command line that I can disable the beta without reinstalling?
I believe so. Yeah. Actually, there's a command line you can disable everything. I just don't know if it does email also. The email issue is that the only issue is that the uninstaller will fail to copy over the file because it's in use. I mean, that's the only problem. It should, it goes on and finishes the install fine. It's just I don't know if it does that when you deploy it automated. I know with the whatchamacallit, you have to hit skip the file.
The command line for the whitelisting, since I'm looking at the command lines here, is going to be /a equals and then the path. And I'm looking for the other ones here, so give me a second. Looks like there would only be the undo all. Otherwise, it just shows the email options for the command lines.
Yeah, on and undo all. Let me just verify that that'll do it.
Or they could use the uninstaller command line. And as long as they're making sure that's running with administrative privileges.
Yeah, all they need to do is run the executable.
Group policy runs with admin privileges, correct?
Depends on how you have the group policies set up to push out. And I'm not sure exactly how you can do that, but there's different ways that you can have it to push out scripts and things if it runs as the user, runs as the administrator on the system.
Yeah, I run it all as administrator. I'm fairly certain. I mean, my users don't have any rights to install anything anyway, so the only way they can get it is if it goes through group policy.
Okay. Yeah, so normally if you have it set up to push it out as administrator, it should be running with administrator rights, and you can do /uninstaller, and I'll copy that over here to your messages. And from what I'm seeing, that should stop the monitoring service and uninstall everything from that route.
Okay.
So if you push that out first and then have it push out the new installer, that should get everything set up and working from there.
Okay. So run this once through, and then I'll just run the new installer, and then we'll be good to go.
Believe so, correct.
Now, when we release the next version, are you guys going to make it so we can update?
Yeah, it'll come through the update system, and that's actually something I've been working on here is the update and installer portion, so I'm actually going to add in that command line to turn off the mail stuff here as well, so add a new feature on it even. And where is that?
Yeah, I did verify, and actually undo all does not remove the actual mail, the actual monitor.
So the only one that does the monitor service is the uninstaller.
Mm-hmm. Well, the uninstaller actually, why am I being dumb about this? You know the uninstaller runs a command line to CryptoPrevent too, right? Bulk uninstaller / bulk uninstaller.
Oh yeah, there is that one too. The uninstaller one is a lot more thorough.
Yeah, it puts everything back.
Yeah,
that's what the uninstaller does. I mean, it runs that command. That's why it needs admin privileges to run that command. And it needs that. And it needs that because CryptoPrevent has to have the admin privileges. Because, so.
But for Buddy, basically run that uninstaller. I think is probably the better route to go. Can you say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, either or. One will do the other. It wouldn't matter. The only difference is if you didn't run it through the uninstaller, it wouldn't come out of add remove programs. But.
Okay, so I'll do the uninstaller. We'll get it removed. I'll let it go, 24, 48 hours, whatever, to make sure everybody's rebooted, got their new group policy update. And then we'll do the new installer in a couple days and push it back out without the beta part of it. And then we should be good.
Yes.
And then when you guys release a new update, when you say it's going to go through the update server, is it going to go directly to my clients, or is that going to be something I push out through group policy?
Right now, the updates go directly to your clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
The management features that we were talking about with deploying configurations and everything, not only will the configurations be deployed from your server, but the update will be deployed from your server, not ours.
Gotcha.
So you could control that.
And you're thinking when do you think that's going to be released?
Actually, the software already exists. It's just for a different product, and we just need to translate it. But we have to get 8 out first. So.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's what I've been working on for quite some time now, and basically we're translating it all into a new language, so it's taking a little bit of time to go through all those translations. Plus, I'm adding a whole bunch of new features to it at the same time.
Yeah. And the
Gotcha.
new language thing, we want it to be a little more robust. It was written in a language that is older and not as capable of being nice, I guess, on the eyes. I don't know, but and some other things that will give it a lot more functionality. It was the language it was written in is what I do, and it's because it is for tech work. It was for things that it was for broken computers, not computers that are already fixed, and you're just trying to keep them that way. So,
Gotcha. Brantley, do you have an extension cord plugged into an extension cord behind you?
Yeah, I do actually.
Ah.
Actually, no, that one is just an extension cord plugged into the AC unit.
Oh, okay.
Because they gave you such a small, short little AC cord here. It won't even reach across the door, or else I would be just blocking off that door and unplugging and plugging back in.
Gotcha. I'm constantly fighting our users with them plugging extension cords into battery backups, plugging them into space heaters, things like that.
Oh, so you don't want to look behind my desk here.
Yeah.
Because I actually have it going through a kilowatt into a battery backup, and then I have the battery backup going into 3 different extension cords, and then all of those extension cords filled. Or surge protector, sorry.
Just stop. You're going to give him a heart attack.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys' help. We'll go ahead and get this fixed, and I want to thank you guys for it, and
awesome.
nice seeing you at Spice World.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, awesome. And before we forget, Brantley, I'm trying to get on the build server right now, but it doesn't want to let me. Maybe a lot of people are logged in, or am I doing something wrong?
Maybe I just disabled you.
I'm not in
probably
it.
did. You might have. Was it the generic account? I was using that one, I think.
It's saying no licensed servers available, so.
Yeah.
No, I think we have to look into that key thing. We'll look into it here, so.
All right.
We'll have to look into that afterwards.
Oh, fun stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else for us, buddy?
I think we're good to go, so thank you guys.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm glad we were able to figure it out there.
Yep. All right, I'm going to drop off.
All right. Proctor, it was fraudulent, and I was going to tell you that was going to actually be the second half of our video today, is how to detect spam mail.
Okay. And fraudulent thievery activity and stuff. Because that's
we'll
what
go ahead
was.
and go over a few key points since we're almost at our hour and we're not going to be able to finish the file system thing.
Start off. We received a notice that someone attempted to pay us for the unlimited CryptoPrevent.
Well, no, it wasn't for that. It was just for an amount, and we do have a large amount that could have been that, but it looked professional. It had a link to complete the transfer deposit thing, and then had an attachment of a doc file. Plus, Proctor, I was going to suggest that you reformat your computer if you opened either of those on your computer. But
I opened the dock and I ran malware scans overnight using D7.2 and everything looks good.
Okay, so maybe those had a bad one. So basically, there's a few things that you want to keep an eye out for on spam and malware and fraudulent things like that. The first thing which Michael and Proctor did was they looked and saw if that company was legitimate. and it's some Canadian company, and this is actually how they process payments for some ungodly known reason, because it's set up just perfect for phishing. Basically, the Canadian company is a bank that allows people to do transfers by taking their money, sending the person that's going to get the transfer an email, and it'll have a link in it to complete the deposit and put it into their account, and it's all secured and everything's fine and dandy if you're actually going through that. The first step in knowing if it's spam, though, is, are you expecting that email? We didn't have the name of the person that started the transfer or the person that the email was from in our systems anywhere. We didn't know exactly why we were getting that email, so right off there, definitely red flags and alerts. At that point, if you're not expecting an email like that, then I would say don't even look into it any further. Really, at that point, you can go ahead and say, this is probably spam and a phishing attack. And even if it's not, if someone is trying to send you money that way, they're going to contact you and say, hey, did you get this email? Because you should have gotten this email about this so that I can give you that money that I'm trying to give you. Because otherwise, they're not going to have that money in their account, and they're going to be expecting something from you for payment-wise. So if you're not expecting an email like that, that's your first sign right there. Don't open it. Especially for these company style ones, those are definitely spam phishing style if it's coming from a company. Where it gets a little bit harder for everyday people is going to be if it's coming from a friend. So if your friend's computer gets infected and sends you an email and it says, hey, look here, check out this link for for seeing a funny picture of you, or oh my god, I found this of you on Facebook and click here. Most cases like that, I would double check with your friend in some other form of communication and say, hey, did you mean to send this to me? So that's really your biggest and best step protecting against malware and spam. And there are some other things that I found here, so give me a second, let me pull those things up here. Where is it? There. Alright, so the other place I'd found was this, how to tell if a link is safe. And this site here has some good link scanners on it, and I didn't actually know about these until yesterday, but essentially you can copy a link and then paste it into one of those link scanners and see if it's a safe link or not. When I actually pasted that link that we had received in there, it showed up as good. My only concern about it was that it's a Canadian company and they're using American hosting site and an American SSL site, which not completely unheard of, but it does raise a little bit of red flags for me on them being truly legit, because they could have a whole website set up and everything set up to impersonate that person. And if they manage to get the domain name from a company past, then they could get something like that set up and be fairly legitimate. So the biggest thing with any of those kind of things is do your research, check on it, and if you're not expecting it specifically, don't open it. Definitely don't open any attachments. Google and Gmail will normally, spam filters, various things like that, will normally catch most of these things, but a lot of them do slip through, so definitely a good idea to pay attention to those things and not get hit with them. The particular company that we got an email from, I did some research on and just typed in the company name and spam and found that 2 to 4 years ago, they've had a lot of phishing emails go out, and even one where they had to do a public statement saying, hey, we have spam people going out and acting like us, don't click our links, don't do any of that stuff. So just some good stuff there. Oh, John, I found an awesome site last night that should bring back some nostalgia for you. Nick, I mean. No, don't move it to a new desktop. Are you crazy? All right. Oh, Nick left. Dang it, Nick. Nick's back.
Yay!
Nick, can you hear me? Check out that link that I just put in
Oh
the
yeah, I'm checking
IRC
it out.
chat.
I heard you, man.
A Keygen player.
I bet there's some in here I know.
I know, there are. It's so awesome. It's basically a link that has a web-hosted player, and you can just stream music from Keygens of days past, and it's kind of a nostalgia thing because finding Keygens and cracks and things like that for testing purposes and educational value, we found some awesome music to the point where Nick and I would just start them up, and that would be our music for the workday. We would just sit there and listen to that, looping ourselves over and over all day. Other people in the office loved us for it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But it's basically like kind of your 8-bit music from like Nintendo style days. So that's the kind of style music. So if you like that kind of thing, check out that link in the chat. I'll also throw it into the YouTube comments once we post this here.
Oh man, there needs to be. This really needs to have a search. There's not really a search.
Yeah, well, it's alphabetical,
Yeah,
so it's kind of close.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of stuff prefixed with stuff that.
Yeah.
This is nice.
It's pretty awesome. Just put it on random. Let it play, man.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I was looking for a Nero Keygen. There was one that was really good. I think version 5.
Yeah. Oh, I had found one that.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
It was educational values.
Oh yeah.
There's one that I know you would like. Let me double check and make sure. It was one of the Razor 911 ones. Good guy there.
No, I mean, I guess it's worth also saying though that I am a reformed kind of a person, as far as my attitude towards software and payment and whatnot. Obviously. What's he saying? Per month with Twilio. I don't think it's per user. I think it's like $3 a month.
Why is he not asking us in here?
I don't know.
Hold on a second. Let me change my music here. Hold on.
Oh.
Okay, this is not the Nero one I remember, but I found one. This is pretty sweet, though.
What's the show's topic for today, guys?
Oh, you can't hear that. I love Keygen music.
I like the Razor 1911 ones. Those are almost my favorites.
Razor.
You already missed the whole show, Michael. You'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there is an important fact that we mentioned, and you'll have to listen like directly to you. We actually mentioned it. So
You know, they spend more time on this music, I think, sometimes than they would have to on the.
yeah, no,
Is it actually over? No, this is still the show.
we're still live
Yeah,
right
we're
now,
still
but
on.
we're
Yeah,
about
we're
to
still
end
on.
it because we were just going over this Keygen thing. It's the last little
Oh,
bit.
Keygen thing.
Yeah, I'm listening to Keygen music now.
Keygen music? What?
Yeah.
Keygen.
And we've lost Nick for the day.
Yeah.
That's been bound to
If
happen.
you
We'll
look
see
in
you
the
tomorrow,
IRC,
man.
if you look in the IRC chat that you've been logged into since yesterday, Michael,
I see that.
links that we're talking about.
Let me see. So there's the link. Okay, Keygen player. Oh yeah. These are all safe links, right?
It's just music and streaming, unlike that spam mail that y'all decided to open yesterday. Those were also some good points directed towards you, Michael, as well.
That's freaking awesome music, by the way. Thanks, board.
It is good. But brings a lot of nostalgia back. Look through lots of those.
Very neat, man.
Okay, regarding that link that you sent, how to tell if a link is safe without clicking on it, one interesting note about Firefox. Firefox has predictive link hovering, so if you hover over a link, it actually connects to the server. And so that...
Ouch.
Safe. Did I just drop out? My microphone's getting low on...
Yeah. And that sucks.
My microphone's getting low on batteries. But yeah, that does suck. I'm gonna lose it. I forgot to charge my headset. But just basically be
I
careful
gotta call
with
my
your
insurance agent. She just emailed and blasted me like 5 times. So later.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and end the show for today. Anyway, we'll pick up next week with our file system overview for Tank and Johnny Day. Unless Proctor, do you want to use that for your topic tomorrow?
I might.
If you already had something else, more than welcome.
I've got a couple other things at the back of my head, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. I hope everyone enjoyed the show today. We got a problem fixed with someone that had CryptoPrevent issues, so that was cool. We got them on the show and connected and uninstalled it. So awesome there. And we have a question from MM in the chat at the last moment here. There's no way to have it prompt to reboot the PC rather than shut it down. The idea with the shutdown prompt is that you were done working with the system and it's like a tech bench situation. So if you're done working with the system on a tech bench, the last thing you want to do is have it shut down so you can unplug it, put it back on the shelf for the customer to pick it up. Otherwise, for a reboot option, if you're connected remotely or sitting in front of it, you would just want to go through and do a reboot. I'm not sure why you would want to keep the PC up and running, though. If the computer is fixed and it's the client system, then you can do that. You should be able to just leave it running because you've got the system fixed. If you do want to have a reboot thing, then you would want to have it as one of the last steps there. But you say you need it for remote sessions. What do you need the reboot on remote session for? Because the other option there is you have that open a pre-configured page so that you can have the computer open a page on your site that says something like, hey, we finished fixing your computer, you can take it back over now. But if you're just trying to reboot it for a safe measure to make sure everything's okay, normally there's not really a need for that. But if you do want to do that, I would suggest just having it as one of your last steps in your system or before you ended session there. So if anything went wrong with that reboot, you could be connected for it. because kill 'em all shuts everything down. Okay, so if you're connected with remote software, using their reboot function would probably be the best route. Because you'll still be connected to them after you end session on D7.2. Because D7.2 is really to fix the computer and have it working, and then you can do things with it afterwards. So, yeah, not a problem. All right, so we got that one out of the way. Did we have any other questions there, MM? Give it a few moments for the lag to pick up here. Awesome. Well, like I said, we will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. and then again on Friday at 6 p.m. I'm going to go through and edit the video a little bit, but then we'll have it posted on our YouTube channel. So if you missed it, you can check it out there once we have it posted. I'll post to our blog once we have it up and ready. Otherwise, awesome day today, and we will be back tomorrow. Bye, Internet.